Hey everyone, thank you for listening to the Pain and Panic Trip Planning Podcast. My name is Haley Ragsdale, and today we're doing something a little different, so I'm going to introduce my co-hosts in just a minute. But first, let's talk business. I'm a travel agent affiliated with Academy Travel, and I would love to help you plan your next Disney vacation, so you can reach out to me at Haley.Ragsdale at academytravel.com to start planning your next dream vacation at Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise Line, and so much more. Okay, so today we've got a couple of special guests, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce everybody. First of all, we've got my brother Owen, you know and love him.
Hey guys. Oh, he froze.
It's like, oh no, is he frozen? Oh, there he is.
Oh no,
and then we have two guest hosts with us today. So today we're going to be drafting our Disney Dungeons and Dragons party. So we've actually got some of the members of our Dungeons and Dragons crew. So my husband Jack.
Hi.
And our buddy Nick.
Hey, everybody.
So here's how this is going to work. If you don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, it's like a role-playing fantasy game where you pick your character and then you pick your character's class. And it's a lot of fun. You go through a campaign. Owen, would you like to describe Dungeons and Dragons for people who don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is?
I mean, essentially, it's a good time. We like to...
Yeah.
We go through a campaign, and you get to literally do whatever you want. You can fight, you can run, you can mess with the NPC characters. You know, there's plenty of exciting things you can do, but it's a good time, and I'm excited for this draft.
Wow. Wizards of the Coast should hire you.
Yeah.
Riveting
Hey,
stuff.
guys.
That's all you need to know. So what we're going to be doing today, when you play Dungeons and Dragons, typically you build your party with your friends and everybody's a different character and a different class. And so basically you want everybody to be different classes to make a well-rounded party. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating our own Dungeons and Dragons parties using the class system. So we're each going to pick one Disney character to fulfill each of those classes. So the classes that we're going to be doing are going to be Barbarian, which is basically like your fierce warrior they'll go into like a rage mode. So think like big buff dude that just wrecks everything. And then you've got your bard. So that's a performer. They use magic. So basically they cast spells and things using song or playing an instrument or something like that. Druid is a nature priest who commands the power of the elements and can shapeshift. So think of that as like your earthy person. Rogue, a cunning and stealthy expert in deception, traps, and close combat. So that's your stealthy person that kind of sneaks ahead of the party, checks out for traps, things like that. Wizard, a scholarly magic user who studies arcane arts and manipulates the fabric of reality through spells. So, wizard, pretty straightforward. Most people know what a wizard is. And then artificer. Is that how you say it also? We've been debating this all day.
I thought it was artificer.
Artificer? Artificer? Artificer?
I thought it was
artificer.
artificer.
I don't know. Artificer.
Artificer?
See,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Artificer.
Yeah. Oh, Jack's looking it up.
He's trying to.
He's on it.
I thought
See
she
what
was
Google says.
The artificer, artificer, whatever it is, they're a master, inventor, and magical tinkerer. Artificer.
Artificer.
So remember that, folks, when I forget in 5 minutes.
I really know her.
Artificer.
Boom!
So a master, inventor, and magical tinkerer who creates wondrous devices. So this is going to be like your mechanic, your person that creates things. Any questions on the classes, friends?
No questions here.
Okay, couple of stipulations. We're not allowing Marvel, we're not allowing Star Wars. So basically we're going with like your classic Disney movies, Pixar movies. We did say that Disney Channel is a go, so if you want to use any Disney Channel characters, that's acceptable. Nick, I swear if you take Troy Bolton before I get him, I'm gonna come through this screen. We're going to be doing a snake draft. So we actually all rolled D20s to determine our order. So Nick's going to be going first. And then Owen, then I'll go, then Jack will go, and then round 2, it'll be Jack, me, Owen, Nick. Cool, cool? All right.
Yep.
Now that the business is all out of the way, we're going to start with our barbarians. So, like we said earlier, this is your fierce warrior type, your big, burly. They're just going to go in and Hulk smash everything, basically.
Yeah, real meatheads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Nick, who's your barbarian?
Yeah, so this is a class that I think there's a great amount of Disney characters that fall into this. And I'm happy to pick first overall because I think there's one clear favorite, and that's going to be Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Oh,
I didn't even think of Kronk. That's such a solid pick.
Poison for Cusco. Cusco's poison. Yeah.
Especially
He is to the T a barbarian. Muscles first, brain second. Yeah. Great pick.
That was a solid
That was a
pick.
good one.
that
He
is
was not on
solid.
my shortlist. I didn't think of that one.
No, he wasn't.
Can we talk about our shortlist after everybody's been drafted?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good with
That's
that.
fair.
Yeah.
I didn't say this earlier too, but if somebody picks a character, so like now Kronk is off the board, so nobody can pick Kronk for any of the categories.
And we all agree that he matches the category of barbarian.
Yeah.
So
Totally agree.
Yep. That was
All right.
solid.
Owen, who's your barbarian?
All right. So this is my one Disney Channel pick from a TV show, and it is my one live action pick.
Interesting.
We're going with Bob Duncan from Good Luck Charlie. So obviously that man is huge. He's got the dad strength, and I just imagine him journeying with my party, and like in his pocket he has a little picture of Charlie, and that's what induces his rage, his love for his daughter. And so, yeah, Bob Duncan,
Basically our
what
dad.
a beefcake
Absolute
of a man.
mess. Yeah.
look at
Yeah,
that black
that's my-
shirt. That man.
That's my barbarian pick.
Well, just like Owen's thought process, I went with Big Burly Father as well, and I'm going to take Mr. Incredible for my team.
Yep.
Yeah, solid pick. That was on my
Okay.
list.
Wait a minute. So I'm drafting barbarian last, and I get my first choice.
I guess so,
Okay,
yeah.
so also since I'm like barbarians are now off the table, I'm the only one who gets to draft barbarian. My short list was also included such famous people like Wreck-It Ralph.
That's a great
Mm.
choice. I didn't even think of that.
At the end of the day, you gotta take the Greek god himself, Hercules.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was on my list.
Great
I did
choice.
think
Great
Yeah.
choice.
Hercules.
All right. I thought I was going crazy.
No.
That was a really solid pick.
I also thought somebody was going to choose Sully.
Yep.
That was
Also
also
on my list.
No, I said Hercules. I'm going.
Oh,
with it.
Hercules is yours? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hercules is solid.
James P. Sullivan made the list for me, so happy he gets a shout out.
Yeah. I also had King Triton.
Mhm.
See,
Okay.
that's what I did mean to ask. What's our terrain? Like, if it's aquatic,
Yeah, I mean,
It's a whole
King
campaign.
Triton or
Triton
Ursula.
right there.
It's a whole campaign, so
Yeah, so
Oh,
it could go
that's
either
right.
way.
I also had. Well, never mind. Some of these might not really fall into it. I also had the Titans themselves from Hercules.
yeah.
It's gonna be like the Lava Titan or something like that.
I mean, those
Yeah.
would have been solid, but
Yeah.
you know,
I was
well rounded.
feeling
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Kronk
I think you made
is
the right choice.
a pretty
I
solid
love
pick.
Kronk with this pick.
Me
Right.
too.
I think that's fantastic.
Think of Kronk.
All right.
All right, so next we're getting into bards. Yeah, so your bard, like we talked about earlier, that's going to be your performer, your singer, your musician, and they cast magic, basically performing.
Bards are like the epitome of a hype man.
Yeah.
They give you bardic inspiration to increase your rolls. So when I think of like the best hype men in Disney, I've got a short list of 4 who I have. One of them's kind of a little bit different. I've got 3 who I'm like, yeah, I could definitely go strong with any of them.
I swear if you take mine.
At the end of the day, I got to go with Mushu though.
Oh, that's solid.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's good.
That is solid. I seriously thought you were about to take mine as you were hyping it up.
I have a feeling I know. who you want.
So I'm picking Phil from Hercules.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Very
Yeah,
solid.
I mean, he's the ultimate hype man.
Yeah.
I mean, He literally like sings him into a training montage.
He built Hercules. I mean, that's all it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I should have kept the team together. Dang. I had the option right there. I think Mushu's.
Mushu's pretty solid.
Pretty solid.
I do love
Mushu's
Mushu.
good.
All
All
right.
right. So for my pick, this from one of my favorite movies, I chose Bing Bong from Inside Out.
Oh,
Who's your friend who likes to play Bing Bong, Bing Bong? I mean, having an imaginary friend who sings to you and makes you happy, I mean, that's all the bardic inspiration you need. So,
except he's gonna
That's
die
my
halfway
favorite
through the campaign.
shut up! Shut up! Don't speak that into existence!
Spoiler alert, yeah, from Inside Out.
the movie.
Yeah.
He doesn't even die, he's just forgotten.
I could never forget him. Okay.
Alright, Nick.
All right, so I'm going to be throwing it back a little bit. So this is for all you 90s kids out there. This is a
Yes.
slept-on Disney movie. I am selecting Dodger from Oliver and Company. He is the
What?
terrier. He is the street-smart, New York, sunglass-wearing terrier dog from Oliver and Company. He can sing, he knows the streets, and he gets Oliver where he needs to be. I don't know what else you could want.
See, I'm
Pretty
even
good.
too young to get
Fantastic.
that.
He is a good boy. Absolute good boy.
It's crazy that like we've had now 8 picks and only one of them, Mr. Incredible, has been on my short list.
Really?
Yeah. None of the 4 that I was debating for Bard were brought up by you guys.
I mean, I definitely didn't have anyone from Oliver and Company. Sorry, Nick.
I know. That's what I was telling you.
Good Bard
See-
that they were thinking about.
See,
Go ahead, Nick.
I think so. Sorry, Owen. I almost put Peter Pan. I feel like he
Oh,
could
that
have
would've
a
been
Bard
good.
character.
See,
Yeah?
I almost went with my familiar pick because we are allowing one familiar pick where one of your characters can have a familiar, which is pretty much just a little, I guess, what would you call it?
They're
I mean, just
like
like a
little like animal buddies or spirit buddies that like
Yeah.
basically just go with the character and help them along on their
Like
journey.
in the movie, Mushu is actually probably more of a familiar than anything.
I picture like all the princesses like sidekicks. Like that's where my brain immediately goes.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like hey.
See, I almost went with Linguini and Remy from Ratatouille as
I was
my
thinking Remy.
Yeah.
yeah, because that's
that
like
would be such good inspiration.
exactly. But I
also-
went against my gut, so
I had Mater
oh, yeah.
Made her.
and I
Nice.
had Lumiere because I'm like Lumiere,
yeah.
like I mean
Oh,
he's got
yeah.
a voice. He got Belle into animals, like he's inspiring.
This is also where I was gonna put Troy Bolton, but he was my
Fantastic
backup.
choice.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Yeah, you know. All right. Are you ready for Druid? This one was harder for me, not gonna lie, but this is basically your nature person. They're like a priest that speaks with nature and can control nature and shapeshift and things like that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Very
solid.
fair.
All right. Nick, you're starting this round off, right?
Yeah, starting this one off, and I'm glad to be starting this one off because I think there's a clear favorite once again. I'm taking Rafiki from The Lion King.
Oh,
It doesn't get much more nature priest than that.
That is
Right over
solid.
Simba's forehead.
That
That's
is
a
solid.
solid pick.
Okay. For my pick, now I want to ask you guys a question because there is a person who is obviously very attuned with nature that I do want to go with, but I could see them fitting another class a lot better, and that is Russell from Up. Because he feels a little bit too much like a ranger class,
What do we do?
and
Rangers?
so I don't know if I should
No,
go
we
with
didn't do
him.
Rangers.
Okay.
You feel like that's more ranger?
He's more ranger, but he fits druid best amongst the 6 we have. If that helps.
But that was my pick, you punk.
Adventure is out there, so we're going with Russell just so Haley can't have it.
Dang it! He was literally my only pick for this one, so now I gotta think.
And I am saving my familiar pick, but a clear familiar for Russell would be Kevin. Or Doug, but I'm going to save my familiar.
So we have to do a familiar at the end?
You can do a familiar with any character that you want. I'm choosing to do mine with a different class.
You know what? I'm just bringing out the big guns here.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Too much.
Sorry, I took the pick, Haley.
Yeah, seriously. I was having a really hard time with this one earlier, and then I was like,
This was definitely the hardest one to pick for, besides Rogue. Rogue is also very difficult.
You know what? I'm just going for it. I'm picking Hades.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Hellfire's fire. So
Yeah. King of the Underworld.
I had him in a different
It's
class.
fine.
Yeah.
I had him.
That's kind of why I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick him here so nobody else can have him.
Okay.
I think that's a fair pick. I think he can be attuned with nature. I mean, he runs the entire underworld in death, so
Yeah, I mean he's a god. Come
So
on.
okay, and then would Elsa be considered a druid or should be considered a wizard?
I think it can go either way. I think it's just up to your interpretation.
Okay.
yeah, how you interpret her magic usage, because nature is nature, so
Mm-hmm.
So
Nature's nature, baby.
I kind of leaned a lot into like the shape shifting abilities of druids.
Oh, I know.
So like my short list was featured such heroes like Beast,
Yeah.
Cunning
yeah.
from Brother Bear,
Yes.
people who can control nature and be one with nature like Tarzan. But like, I mean, there's one dude who can shapeshift into anything,
Yeah.
and that's Maui.
I
So
knew
I was like,
you-
all right, let's go with
That
Maui.
that was my number one pick until I wanted to take Russell just so Haley didn't have him.
You jerk. I just wanted Russell.
Solid pick.
You know, I
Can you
had one
imagine?
on my list that I added last second, and I want to get your guys' take on this. Ariel. You can
Oh.
control fish and stuff.
Oh yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
flounder
Yeah.
sidekick.
Yeah.
Man,
Awesome.
that,
Druid.
a solid pick.
yeah. That should have been my King Triton pick. Dang it.
Should have been.
Probably.
Should have been.
I'll take Hades. It's okay. It's okay. I do feel like picturing Russell in a campaign. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, just him in the back. Honestly, he'd be more of a hype man.
Yeah,
A
that's fair.
positive attitude.
The wilderness must be explored. All right. Now we're getting into our rogue. So your rogue, this is like your sneaky, stealthy. A lot of times they're a thief, things like that. So yeah.
I don't like going
Yeah.
third for this. This is going to be rough.
So I think there's like a clear favorite for me on this one. And like when I think of rogues, what's better than being able to turn invisible and also
No.
create force fields? So I'm gonna go with Violet Parr from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Solid
That is a
pick.
good pick.
I have one
Great
other
pick,
pick
great
that I was
pick.
like really feeling strongly about, but
Yeah.
I'll wait
say
till
it.
the end. I'm
Just
not
in
gonna say it.
case.
So I chose Flynn Rider because he's literally a thief. And
Yeah.
this is where I'm using my familiar. His familiar is Pascal.
Can Jack be familiar?
I thought you were going to go with the horse.
It's on Jack as my familiar.
I'll allow it. Oh, this is great. I thought my pick was going to get drafted instantly, but I got lucky here. I'm going with Randall from Monsters, Inc.
Oh,
The man-
Yeah,
you said
that's a good
Invisible
one.
Jack, I was
Solid.
terrified.
Yeah,
But I'm taking Randall, and I'm
Randall.
super happy I got him, because that was
he was
the
on my
only other
short
option I had was Flynn Rider. So,
There's one that sounds very similar to Flynn Rider that I have on my short list.
interesting. All right, Nick.
All right.
Who's
I'll
your
bring
rogue?
up the rear here. So I have chosen Aladdin.
Oh,
Now, if you remember,
yes.
he's got the street
Yeah.
smarts. He is
Solid.
a little bit of a thief, you know, but he can also work his way around to fight.
oh
so,
yeah.
I'm gonna take Aladdin, and then also give me his little chimp friend,
Abu.
Abu, as my familiar.
Solid choices.
All right.
Solid choices.
All right. Finn McMissile was my second.
Oh, Finn
Is that the
McMissile.
guy from Treasure Planet?
No, Cars 2.
He's
Oh.
he's the British spy from Cars 2.
I intentionally didn't do any Treasure Planet characters because I didn't want to argue and get mad. So
I almost said Jim Hawkins here just to take away a Treasure Planet
James
first.
Hawkins.
See, oh wait, actually, I'm not going to say anything because we haven't done the class yet. But anyways,
I know what you're gonna say.
yeah.
Art.
I don't remember what we decided. All right, so next up, getting into our wizard. So, scholarly magic user who studies arcane arts and manipulates the fabric of reality through spells. Nick, who's your wizard?
Ooh. So, mentioned earlier, I'm going to take Elsa from Frozen as my wizard. Take those ice powers.
Hey, ice powers are useful in a campaign. Always. All right. So this is the one that I feel like Haley, this was like the first thing she thought of when doing this draft.
That's the first thing I thought of too.
I'm taking Phantasmic Mickey as my wizard.
Oh, I honestly didn't even think of Phantasmic Mickey. I'm gonna be honest.
Really? That is surprising. I feel like that's like the ideal character for this class in all ways possible.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey, he's a beautiful man, and he got some magic powers.
Fireworks out of his hands.
Exactly. Him running around on that cliff.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
Yeah. So, all right. I picked my girl, Yzma.
Yeah. That's valid.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, Genie, I wish to win the campaign. Nick, I thought you were gonna go Genie and Aladdin back to back and keep them together, and then
Yeah.
Genie was the first person who I thought of, and that's when I was like, darn, I'm picking last or Wizards.
That's a solid pick.
I got Genie now. All right.
Yeah.
That is
That's a
really
solid
solid.
pick.
Very good.
Good about my team.
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty solid. All right. Last category. Artificer, whatever we decided, however we decided to say it. This is sure. This is basically your inventor, magical tinkerer, so on and so forth. So, Jack, who's your pick?
I've got 4 that I'm down between.
Okay.
I'm really struggling because this is probably the one they're the most well balanced between them. I feel like, and I like all of them for different reasons. Trying to see. Okay, when I'm thinking about like long range attacks and like security and all that, I'm like, okay, well I've got Violet Park. I can go stand in a force field and then have chaos reign outside. And like, what's better for chaos and like fighting in battle? I don't want to fight than a nanobot army. So I'm gonna go with Hero Hamada from Big Hero 6 and see what he can brew up for me. He can also probably make some dope armor for Jack.
That's fair.
Clever.
Which now gives me an
was
idea
good.
for another artist.
I think that was a solid pick. I'm going with the Doc Hudson.
Oh,
Okay. Going with
the
the-
one that fixes up all the cars.
Sure.
He trains them.
Get a good peek, city boy.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I
The
feel
Doc Hudson.
like from Cars, I would have thought you would have went with Luigi. I mean, he's a quick builder.
Oh,
Luigi.
All
that
right,
would have been a good call too. I just feel like Doc is the brains, Luigi's the speed.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so for my Artificer pick, this one ties my entire team together. This one is a Disney XD pick, and I bet you all were expecting at least one Gravity Falls character. I'm going with Stanford Pines. Okay,
Mm.
I mean
Yep.
he's the author of the journals. He created this interdimensional portal, and he's just a very clever guy. And this is where I wanted to save my familiar, is because through his time traveling through dimensions, he was able to find the blueprints for a little robot friend, a little robot Jesus we call Wally. And so Wally's going to be a tiny little familiar guy. And yeah, I just imagine him hopping through this interdimensional portal, collecting all of the team members on my team, and going in for a, a world-saving campaign. So yeah, just to
Just
tie it all
going to
together.
get Bob Duncan.
Yeah, just appears in the basement. Bob, come through this portal with me. We have to save the world. I love
Exactly.
you,
All right, last
Charlie.
pick of the draft.
Last pick. I'll wrap it up. Jack, so just a second ago when you said you thought of another one, did you think
Yes.
of Edna
I did think of
as...
Edna.
Yep, she's on the list, but I'm going a different Incredibles character here. I'm going with Syndrome.
Oh, he was the one who I was out. Oh man.
See, that's who I thought
Syndrome.
Jack was going to go with there.
Yeah,
That's a good
He's
pick.
on my short list. My short list also featured, now that the draft is concluded, Will Robinson
Oh,
and Fix It
Good one.
Felix. I was like, Fix It Felix, I feel like
Oh.
would just.
I feel like Will Robinson is like that would have been a solid pick.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go around and recap all of our teams. So, Nick, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So first pick, Barbarian. I went with Kronk. Love that pick. Very happy I got him. For Bard, I got Dodger from Oliver and Company. Druid, I got Rafiki from The Lion King. Rogue, Aladdin from Aladdin. Wizard, Elsa from Frozen. And for Artificer, I got Syndrome from The Incredibles. Very happy with my team so far.
Solid.
Very solid team.
Right, Owen.
For my team, I got all of my first picks, so I was very happy. But for my Barbarian, I got Bob Duncan, the brawn of the team. For my Bard, I got Bing Bong, the imaginary friend. For my Druid, I got Russell from Up. For my Rogue, I got Randall from Monsters Inc. My Wizard, the all-time best pick, Phantasmic Mickey. And for my Artificer, I chose Stanford Pines with a familiar Wally. So I'm very
Solid.
happy with my team.
I mean, how could you beat Bob Duncan? I mean,
Exactly. I mean, he's got all the strength you need.
classic middle class dad.
Look at that.
Go on.
And in the middle of the campaign,
All right.
he sacrifices himself holding a picture of Charlie, holding it, clutching it to his chest. Perfect.
Good luck, Charlie. Okay, so for my team, I had Mr. Incredible as my Barbarian, Phil as my Bard, Hades as my Druid, Flynn Rider as my Rogue, with Pascal as his familiar, and then I had Yzma as my Wizard, and Doc Hudson as my Artificer, however we've decided to say it.
Pretty solid list, honestly. And you got a lot of chemistry in there. So,
Yeah,
I like
mean,
it.
I've got a couple villains.
yeah.
I did think about going on a dark urge and just drafting villains,
Yep.
but decided against it. So, in summary, Team Jack has got the strongest barbarian with Hercules, despite drafting him last. It is a strength-based class for everybody out there who doesn't play D&D. So.
Yeah, it's like they're about to give us all their
That one
stats.
right there.
This is why mine is the best.
Yeah. So Bard, I got my first pick. I got Mushu. They're a charisma-based class. What's more charismatic than Eddie Murphy as a dragon? Nothing. Druid, I really leaned into the shapeshifter. I also got some muscle. I got some Maui.
Muscles.
Rogue, what's better than somebody who can turn invisible when you're trying to be stealthy and
Mhm.
also do force fields? And I got Jack Jack as my familiar. So violent power with Jack Jack. Wizard, I mean, I got GD. Like, that one should speak for itself. That was, got that one at the end of the round. Those and then
Hero.
Artificer. Yeah, and then I got Hero Hamada just because I like nanobots. They're pretty cool. Yeah,
It's fair.
I feel pretty strongly
Valid.
about it.
I mean,
Forgot to go back and
I
talk
kinda
about
have-
some of the ones that were on our short list for wizards.
well, real quick, I just kind
Is
of
that
want to
on?
make a point here. So have you ever seen Bob Duncan and Hercules arm wrestle? Just a question. I mean, if I had to think about what the winner would be, it would be Bob Duncan. And Bing Bong, an infinite source of inspiration. That's what he is. He is inspiration. So just had to throw that out there.
I'm pretty sure my middle class dad, Mr. Incredible, would beat I don't even remember your guy's name. Bob Duncan in arm wrestle. Bob Parr would beat Bob Duncan.
Bob Duncan's about to
I don't
be
know.
Yeesh.
Mr. Incredible's a little too old. He's out of his game.
He's still
So-
Mr. Incredible.
And I think you guys are really sleeping on Dodger the dog from all of our company. I'm just going to circle back here real quick because I don't think I got my point across. The charisma on this dog, unheard of. Voiced by none other than Billy Joel. So
That's
let
true.
that sink in a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
And he wears sunglasses. He's a smart dog that wears sunglasses. Don't get any cooler than that. Outstanding member of the team here.
I don't
All-time
know.
good boy, as I said.
All-time good boy.
I kind of want to go do a Dark Urge one where I draft all villains.
Just all the villains
So
only.
I thought about doing, as my team, I thought about doing the Titans and just being evil. Also, my shortlist for Barbarian was Stitch.
That'd be a good one too.
I
That's solid.
thought about,
Yeah.
who was I going to draft as my evil charismatic one? I can't remember. But anyway, getting down to Wizard, we also had like Jafar,
Oh,
Doctor of Facilian,
Jafar would have been good.
Magnifico.
Magnifico.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What's his song? This is the things I get.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
I mean, Chris Pine. I mean, it's
It's
like
true.
he could be a wizard and a bard. He literally was a bard in
That's
Dungeons and Dragons movie.
very true. I do love Chris Pine. He's hilarious.
Good old Chris P.
You know, someone who I thought would be a good wizard doesn't have any magic powers or anything, but Milo from Atlantis. I think he would really get into like learning the spells
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
become a wizard.
I thought about making Kita my, what's it called? My druid. That was my, all right, I'm bringing out the big guns. And then I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go with Hades.
Yeah. That's valid.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
You have to do like draft Miss Incredible as my barbarian and Gita as my
lady.
the ladies.
see, I feel like a very slept on class in this category, or like in Disney, is Artificer. Because I had a lot of great picks for Artificer. Like the robot from Treasure Planet. I don't know his name. But, I mean, he's just a funny guy. Well, I guess maybe he would have been better as a bard.
Yeah.
But,
Ben.
I
Yeah.
thought about like
Dr.
that bad
Doppler,
guy
but-
from Treasure
Oh,
Planet.
yeah.
I don't know.
but
yeah, he would have been
I don't remember
solid.
his name. The
Dr.
bad
Dopp-
guy from Treasure Planet. What is that guy's name?
it's the cyborg.
Yeah, that guy.
The thick guy.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
why can't I think of his name now?
Oh,
Well, this is
Jimbo.
embarrassing.
Jimbo.
Also, we could do like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Mm,
Jack Sparrow
Yeah.
as a bard.
dang, that would be good.
Yeah.
That's true.
I've got a job done.
Yeah, I also had Cornelius Robinson as one of my Artificer choices. Just the
That's
dad
solid.
from Meet the Robinsons. I mean, he created the future, so.
It's true.
That would be pretty solid. Yeah, this has been fun. Any other picks that anybody's got on the brain?
I want Thanos with all six and
No.
Yeah,
The reason we didn't do
that's the
Marvel.
only pick I need.
Yeah, exactly.
in the series.
I'll take Iron Man as my artificer.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a reason we said no Marvel or Star Wars. But let us know what you think, who you think had the best draft, and other picks that we didn't think about. We'd love to hear them. Anything else before we skedaddle?
I mean, let us know if you want us to do more drafts. I feel like this was fun, and we have a bunch of other classes we can draft for. And yeah, we love D&D, so we love D&D content as always, and Disney content.
Owen's
The
been
whole point of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Owen has been thinking about making a Disney Dungeons and Dragons campaign for us to record and throw out as like side episodes. So maybe that'll happen. We'll see.
If this video gets 50,000 likes, I will make a Disney campaign.
Let's make it happen.
Totally pulling that for TikTok.
50,000.
All right,
Like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
I'd like to thank our sponsor.
Their sponsor? Academy Travel.
Academy Travel.
That's right.
Not really a sponsor, but
If you want to see these characters that we talked about tonight, you can do that through Academy Travel.
Exactly. Thank you for the plug, Vic. With that being said, let me know if you'd like to plan your next Disney vacation or Universal vacation. I've had several people ask me about Universal lately because the tickets are complicated with Epic Universe. I'd be happy to help. You can contact me at Haley.Ragsdale at academytravel.com. Follow me on Instagram at Haley Ragsdale Travel. Owen at O_Rederer. Where are y'all's hand? Oh, Jack Rags 1 too.
You don't have to follow me.
Yeah, I'm fine not being followed.
I haven't posted in 7 years. It's okay.
People just start
Literally,
messaging
Instagram doesn't
Nick
even
like,
know we're
"Ooh, can
married."
you plan my trip for me?"
So yeah, reach out if you'd like help planning a Disney vacation. Follow us on all the social medias. Check this out on YouTube. Get Owen to 50,000 likes on this video so that we can make Dungeons and Dragons Disney campaigns. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Toodles.